Consumers, they don't need to win a lot of battles to sort of win the war here, and they might just farm it up. They might just go AFK in lanes.
Yeah, and a similar strategy sort of played out in their favor in game one. So feels like a similar blueprint for them here in this second match, but we'll see if Undying can sort of disrupt that plan, shake things up enough to sort of get the edge on their opponents. It's going to be very much a scenario in which they've got to sort of get themselves going fairly quickly. So with that in mind, we do load into the second match here, and we'll see.
That's got to suck.
Well, we'll see how the early aggression works out. As we sort of said before, they really do need it for Undying. It just feels so risky for them to go for this strategy, but you got to go for it, right? High risk, high reward. They're looking to salvage that 1-1 draw here, and if it works out, they're going to be feeling pretty good, and they're going to be looking pretty smart. So with that, we get this underway, taking a look at some of the sort of early maneuvers here. Nobody's getting too far forward. The Earthshaker really the only one pressing in is Moon. Ooh, that's a bit unfortunate. Drops down the Obs Ward in clear vision of the earlier Obs put down by 4 Zoomers. So they know that's there. They should be able to take it down fairly quickly, and that is going to be eyes taken away and a little bit of extra money to the 4 Zoomer side once they actually pick it off.
And we'll see if they decide to give it to Gunnar. Yeah, they are going to give it to Gunnar. Sentry gets flown out. Now it's going to be up to them to sort of deny the ward. If Gunnar or anyone walking over with that sentry make it a little bit too obvious, then we have seen sort of the deny come out. But looks like now Gunnar just going to have a little bit more of an advantage, making his way towards that bottle a little bit faster. And I'm very glad this time around he started with the salve. Last time we saw him play this morph mid versus the Viper, it was just the tangos. And while you do have that little bit much more gold towards that bottle, if you get zoned off that wave a little bit too hard, do the walk of shame, walk back to base, don't have enough gold for bottles still, it can definitely feel awful. So getting himself a little bit more ready for the matchup this time.
Yeah, doesn't want to get sort of completely annihilated the way that he did before, although, I don't know, beyond that point the recovery was still okay for him, but you don't want to have to put yourself in that position in the first place. So with that in mind, we get the laning stage underway. We'll see just how aggressively Bryle wants to play here right now. Early point up in the corrosive skin, so not exactly going to be walking his way forward with the poison attacks, but he and Gunnar are looking to sort of trade some damage early, but I don't really think this is going to matter too much, especially once Gunnar sort of gets that bottle out to him.
Yeah, and we've seen Bryle do this before, especially versus the Wind.
So we had some similar problems back in game one, but none of those pauses really took more than probably 30 seconds at the most. So once again, we're back into it. And looking down to this sort of bottom lane here, Sammy Boy once again on the Naga Siren. He was just incredibly sort of solid for them in game one, and well, this time around he may have to be maybe a little bit more careful. Moon Meander and Saberlight are obviously going to try to put in some early pressure onto him, but as long as he can sort of stay safe, stay back, and have Husky just sort of run interference for him, it feels like it's going to be more of the same for him farm-wise.
Yeah, and his lane is a lot safer, to be honest, just because you don't have to worry about that Gale, you don't need to worry about the Magic Burst. It's that 5-minute timing where how many levels were they able to amass on these two? Is Saberlight going to be level 5? Is Moon Meander going to be level 3? And so small tick-ups that are going to end up mattering. And something that they were lacking in that previous game was sort of the vision, the ability to find that Naga in the jungle. While you did have Bryle on that Invoker, it never felt like he was able to get aggressive up in Sammy Boy's jungle and sort of make his life a little bit harder. But now you have the Nightstalker, you literally have the vision, you've got fantastic sight, so hopefully they're going to give this Naga a little bit of a run for her money.
Yeah, we'll have to sort of see how much Saberlight can do here. He is holding a skill point at the moment, so not really sure if he wants to go in for that Crippling Fear, or if it's just going to be sort of building up the Hunter in the Night passives for when that nighttime rolls around. His middle lane, Gunnar, gonna get sort of stunned up there initially. It's a decent attempt from Moon Meander, but not actually going to be enough. The Morphling simply TP'd himself back, but now he has to sort of manage his health a little bit. Here goes Max Agi to pop the bottle charges, and he should be okay here. Bryle's sort of pushing forward, but not really in a position to immediately sort of threaten his laning opponent. But up in the top lane, Brax ends up getting taken down. Ocean wants in for the final last hit onto Dubu, but he's not going to be able to get it. Dubu draws first blood, and now Ocean no, okay, he's not going to be in trouble. Tomato wasn't actually going to chase after him that far, but that's still first blood. 2 Undying, very nicely done, taking down the Mars as well. Kind of one of the harder heroes to track down this early on in the game.
Yeah, and you don't even have the Orb of Corrosion, you don't have too many aggressive abilities, you don't even have the level 2 Cold Feet or Chilling Touch. It just felt like he got a little bit too low there. You see him buying up a new set of tangos, and he wasn't able to finish off that Orb of Corrosion in as fast as a manner as he otherwise would have liked to, so he doesn't have that extra HP coming in from the fluffy hat. So honestly, he doesn't have that much armor either, so it makes sense why he went down. Just a little bit too greedy.
A bit too far forward, and that's all it's going to take right now is Dubu. Okay, walking into the bramble there, taking a little bit of damage, but Brax wasn't exactly in a position to follow it up. He did have the spear, but I don't think he would have had the angle for any sort of actual latch unless he pushed relatively far forward there. So it's a nice play from the Dark Willow. It's not going to be enough to set up for a kill though, but over in the middle lane, Gunnar might be in some trouble here. He gets stunned up by Moonmander, a couple poison attack stacks in onto him, but not enough for the kill, and now Husky just sort of coming in to bully Moonmeander away. Not going to let him sort of set up entirely in that lane. And really, in all of that, Gunnar was still able to get the water rune for himself. So it's another nice attempt from Moonmeander, but it still hasn't been enough. He's gone at it like twice, I think, now in this lane and hasn't been able to really secure it. But now he's going to give it a third go, wrapping his way around. But Husky's going to spot him out again here. So this really is not going to work the way he wants it to.
And all the way back then when they did place that ward, Moonmander at least will get that, but they have been aware of these Earthshaker rotations pretty much the entire time. And actually Gunnar, he's fine. He's gonna go a little bit aggressive, but yeah, this is just sort of the lane. Brow is trying to be incredibly efficient. We've seen him drag the wave over to his small camp a few times now. He's been farming Gunnar's small camp as well, but at the end of the day, this Morphling is not getting shut down nearly as much as we saw before. They're really just able to get their levels, and Brow does need to be cautious whenever Gunnar does hit level 6. That's when the Morphling can really turn the matchup on its head. You put the Nether Toxin onto the Viper, and then he says, uh-oh, what's going on here? I don't like this, and you're not really mobile enough to run away from that Morphling just because you don't really itemize too heavily into boots, to be honest, either. We'll probably see a wand coming out for him in a sec here, and top. Yeah.
Able to make it happen there. Brax gets away with about 30 HP after the cold feet was put onto him, but he's able to walk out of the radius, doesn't get hit up. Meanwhile, Ocean, with that Shadow Realm, was able to get the last little bit of damage in onto Dubu. So they will keep Brax safe. They find themselves a kill. It does push that Mars, though, all the way out of lane. He's got to go all the way back to base to heal up, but he is still holding on to that TP scroll, so he could return to the lane fairly quickly as his teammate was able to sort of clean things up for him.
Yeah, and now Husky rotates mid. Bryle, he's trying to be aggressive. He's got the level 6 advantage. He's still 2 more creeps away on Gunnar. He's probably going to get it here in just a moment, but the Invis rune, oh, it's going to scout out Moon. Okay, this play's dead now.
Sentry spots him, and yeah, Moon's got to leave. He does still have the stun, though. HP Morphling, but you do see the TP coming in now from that Dark Willow. They're bringing reinforcements. We've got about 3 heroes from each side now just chilling in that middle lane, and they're going to look for the fight. First crowd coming through, going to lock Dubu down. He's going to really want to do this, though. If he goes in, he still doesn't have a lot of HP, so he's got to be incredibly careful. Moon, though, comes in with the fissure, blocking off Husky's escape, so they may not be able to get the morph, but they should be able to run down the ET here, although with the boots, just that little bit faster, he's going to go for the TP away, and Undying can't cancel it.
Yeah, and really nothing ventured, nothing gained for the Undying side. Unfortunately, Bryle, he had that salve going. He wasn't able to tank enough for that cart to stay alive. If that cart stays alive, maybe this mid tower takes another 500 or 600 damage, but at least you force Gunnar back to the base. At the same time, though, it's nighttime for Saberlight, and he was not able to rotate. He had to walk all the way back home, and leaving the Nightstalker versus the Naga Siren just means Sammy Boy gets these free levels. He gets this free time, and this is where this is going to be sort of problematic, because we saw in that previous game just how well he was able to play around his team, and you can't come back to this lane. You see Moon trying, but just already level 4 in the mirror image, he takes so much damage.
Sammy, he's honestly going to be just fine at this point. You take a look at the net worth for him, he's sitting at the top, so more of the same based on what we saw from game 1. He is going to be doing fantastically for himself, and Undying, they've still got time, but we haven't really seen that pressure that we were sort of anticipating from them with the lineup that they've gone for. So this is where things are going to get a little bit dicey for them. They need to sort of take advantage of upcoming opportunities. Otherwise, this lineup's not going to do fantastically playing from behind. As Bryle going to be able to dodge out the stop.
Here we go.
Here comes Gunnar working himself in. Gunnar, though, is losing that fight.
Yeah, he got greedy. Now, Husky, Saberlight's here. He's got the Void. Also has the Dark Ascension.
Should just be able to push his way in. The stop comes through, though, and Husky, well, he's not dead yet, but there's going to be the Ascension. Saberlight wants it, but the Curse Crown's going to lock him down, so Husky's actually presumably going to get away. He's all the way back into the base already, so Undying and not quite able to pick that one up. They do still get the kill onto the Morph, though, so in that case, things are still going to be relatively solid for them as they were able to win that 1v1 with the Viper, but bit of a missed opportunity there to find that secondary kill.
Radiant's middle tower.
Gunnar immediately just going to TP back mid. It feels a little bit sad. We do see him going now for that Hood of Defiance, just making sure he has that little bit of magic resistance, a little bit of a buffer, so he doesn't go down again. But really, a solo kill from Bryle. He had nobody in the vicinity, so this is going to propel that Viper even further ahead, and he's going to go for that Boots of Travel build first. So this is going to be a very farmed Viper, and I'm hoping that we're not going to see him go for that BKB too early. Oop, going down top. Brax has been alone for a while. Even though Dubu was mid, you're in a 1v1 situation versus the Nakes. So Tomato just has that few more levels, and this is definitely not a good matchup for the Mars.
Yeah, he's been sort of struggling to this point. Second death here in the sort of laning stage, but he's going to be able to return to the lane relatively soon, and Ocean is here to sort of back him up. So I think the next time around, he's going to have enough backup where Tomato won't just be able to sort of push directly and onto him. So that could get the Mars into a slightly better position, as they're actually going to drop the Curse Crown onto him. But Tomato's so far back now that that's really not going to matter. He doesn't even pop the Rage to dodge it, just going to eat that stun, and knows that Brax and Ocean won't be sort of charging in after him. But speaking of charging, we do see a bit of a group up down in the bottom lane. They want in onto Sammy Boy. Bryle wasn't able to get off the Viper Strike, though. I think he started that channel but lost the vision, and now he's in some trouble. Those illusions are going to do a fair bit of damage to him, and yeah, that Viper is going to back himself away. So it's about a 3-man rotation down to the bottom lane, and they really don't get much of anything. Sammy Boy does have to sort of chill out under his tower for a little bit, but I think he's going to be okay with that overall if it means that he survives this. But Undying are going in again. They want to go for a second attempt.
But it's daytime. You don't have the Dark Ascension for 15 seconds. It doesn't
Meanwhile,
really matter.
Dubu is getting run down here. Shadow Realm proc comes in. It's not enough damage, though, and the stop actually misses as well. So Dubu is going to be able to get himself away, but Gunnar, he wants in for the fight. He's trying to push onto Bryle, not able to get the kill initially, and now this is not a great situation. The Morph is going to have to back himself off. He's already starting to shift towards strength a little bit, trying to heal up, while Saberlight, well,
nice.
TP is in. They get the nice stun down there. That is going to cancel Ocean's TP, and they should be able to take him down as the Willow will fall. So overall, that one gets a little bit weird. Dubu very nearly taken down. Gunnar then pushes on to Bryle, can't get the kill. And at the end of the day, it's only going to be the Dark Willow who's taken down, but now Gunnar, I want to be careful here. The Ice Blast is coming in. It's off the mark, but they're still going to go for it. They hit him up with the Void into the poison attacks. Gunnar has the wave for him, but Saberlight will continue to chase, but now the Adaptive Strike will push him back. So they knew they only had a little bit of time left before the sort of daybreak came in again, so they try to make a move. It's not going to work, and now Husky wants to punish. He goes in with the stop, connecting onto 2. Brax needs it, but he's not going to get it just yet. That stun from Moonmeander locks him down, so Saberlight is trying to get away, but I don't think he makes it out. Gunnar waveforms forward, goes in for that Agi adaptive, and Brax is able to sort of throw out the spear there to do the last little bit of damage, although actually no, it's Husky who got in a right click for the kill. But big pickoff for the side of 4 Zoomers. Saberlight tries to rotate in. He even committed the ult earlier on in that fight and doesn't really get what he wants and gets taken down as well.
And it is mildly unfortunate. Saberlight just barely got the crippling fear up, but oh boy.
Ocean.
Just Echo Slam. Ocean is gone.
Meander able to set that one up. I mean, that's maybe not the biggest echo in the world, but it will net them the kill, and this early on, 12 minutes, there's not going to be a blink or anything even close to it, so you're not really saving that for any sort of massive teamfight play. So better to commit it there, get the kill that you know you can get. 5-2 in Undying's favor as they're trying to sort of maybe build up a little bit of momentum here. But while all of this is going on, Sammy just keeps on farming. He's in the jungle. He's already got himself the Yasha, looking for the SNY as his first major pickup.
Yeah, and that's something that really the Lifestealer is never going to be able to contest with. He's making his way towards a Maelstrom. Once he has it, it'll sort of fix the matchup just a little bit, but there's never a situation where this Lifestealer is going to feel too confident. It's very similar to this Fen where you need that armor item, you need some supplemental really just items to make the matchup feel a little bit better and top, then the game is just going to stall out into, I think, a 4-Zoomers victory.
Yeah, and this is what we were worried about. Looking at this draft for Undying, they were going to be so dependent on needing to sort of get these early victories that if they don't get them, they're really just sort of optioning away their future here. As we do see Gunnar pushing in, looking for the kill on the Saberlight. Dark Ascension, though, will be used to get him out of the fight. Meanwhile, Brax trying to track down Dubu here. He needs maybe a little bit more damage, but not be able to get it just yet. Husky, though, look at him just go. He's pushing in. Dubu will be taken down, and Bryle ends up falling as well back towards the middle lane. As Gunnar does finally sort of win that man fight, but he is dangerously low on HP. The shifting is not actually getting him any further HP now, but he is going to be able to back away. And 4-Zoomers, they're just going to clean this one up. Moonmeander dead, Saberlight gone, 4 heroes down, and no one dead for 4-Zoomers themselves. They just completely clean sweep that one, excuse me. And that was the play. That was what Undying needed. That was their moment, and it all sort of falls apart on them.
And it was another Dark Ascension wasted. It is Dubu. Maybe if he hits on the Gunner, he still is going to be fine, I think. Doesn't shift over towards those strength treads. But it really feels like now, okay, if you mess up your next nighttime, you're going to be on the back foot for the next 10 minutes, because during all that time, that was a 4v5. Or really, I guess it did end up being a 4v4. Tomato didn't make a rotation, which I'm a little bit sad to see. Yeah, okay.
This feels a little greedy for him. Yeah, okay. There we go. The song is going to be the sort of get out of jail free card, but he's not leaving. His teammates are coming in. They're looking for this. They get the stomp down. Oh, no, they don't. The timing is a little bit off. That is very unfortunate. Husky really very rarely makes those sorts of mistakes, and now, yeah, Sammy's in trouble. There's no more song, but that's not a complete block up with the fissure, so Sammy is falling back. The Echo coming out for Moon, gonna connect onto the 2 supports, but neither one of them will be taken down yet. And 4-Zoomers, I mean, Sammy's pushing back in, but that's a bad idea. He still doesn't have any HP to work with here, so really does need to sort of back off and heal up here while Undying. I mean, they're trying to push further forward. They do have the Infest play, so the Lifestealer could sort of bounce out here and try to do some damage, but who's really the best target for them? They're eyeing up Brax and Ocean right now, but they're not really committing for it. Instead, they're just going to look for the tower, as that's a much easier target for them to lock down. Although, they still haven't gotten it just yet. 4-Zoomers looking like they want to regroup. Sammy Boy went all the way back to the base and did heal up, but instead of TPing up to the top lane, he actually TPs down bottom. So he won't have him for this fight. Now Brax going to look for the TP home. Can he get himself out of here? He's trying, but he won't quite make it.
And that is the mistake that they need to punish. This is the tower they need to grab. Now they should focus all of their attention on the mid lane. They have their ability sort of coming back up once they have this Ice Blast. Gunnar, while he does have that hood, still needs to be pretty careful if he's not able to get that shift off. But I'm still looking at this Blink Dagger on Moon, and it's not coming out. We're not going to be seeing it till probably around 20 minutes. And maybe a little bit longer.
The Earth Splitter out as Moonmeander's going to get hit up, dropped low, taken down, and yeah, that's going to delay the progress on that Blink Dagger even further, as Gunnar's going to be able to pick up the kill. And 4-Zoomers, they're playing this one out pretty well so far. 2K net worth lead for them, and as you said, this next upcoming nighttime, or at the time the upcoming night, was going to be important for them. We're into that nighttime right now, and they're really not doing quite as much as they need to, as Dubu will be taken down. Gunnar just going to start shifting towards strength. He should be just fine. He's holding onto the waveform even, so really there's not a whole lot that they're going to be able to do as Gunnar falls back, picks up the Invis rune. Ocean, though, is under attack, but there's going to be that Shadow Realm proc keeping him safe, at least for the time being. But Saberlight pops the Ascension. He wants in. The Void will be deployed, but the stomp, nope, canceled by the silence.
Nice.
Radiant's middle tower
just going to be more.
Taken down. Can they get the tower here as well? The Glyph is going to be deployed defensively, so they're not going to be able to burn through it just yet. And Gunnar, this might be a little bit risky. He's pushing his way forward into about 3 or 4 enemy heroes, so I think he just wants to back away, but that will get Undying the tower. So maybe they're not finding the massive kills that they need, but they at least get a pick off there onto a support, and they've taken another tier 1. So they're getting something. I just don't know if it's really enough for them at the moment.
And really, now that we're going to sort of appear in that lull, Undying just need to keep running at you. They need to keep finding these kills. In 4-Zoomers, they need to not crumble. And actually, Brax, he's not going to get clipped by the Ice Blast, but
Moonmeander locks him down there with the fissure, so they will be able to find that kill. But elsewhere on the map, Sammy found himself a bit of a solo kill onto Dubu, as the Ancient Apparition was too far, I believe, into that sort of south side jungle area. So it is going to be a sacrifice, a 1-for-1 there, but the core for support trade goes in Undying's favor. So once again, they just sort of inch their way further and further towards maybe pulling even at this point. But Gunnar over in the middle lane, he is going after the tower, and Safe Light actually can't do anything to him. Gunnar just ignores the right clicks and takes the tower.
And even though Brax has given up 2 kills top, and it looks like Ocean needs to be a little bit careful here. But even though you are losing the Mars, he is dying once or twice in positions where you want to be getting active with that arena. Gunnar is having an outstanding performance. He's really making all the plays he needs to. He's the big reason why they got that double kill just a few moments ago. Now that he's level 12, it's a 100-second cooldown instead of a 140-second cooldown on the Morph. And as we sort of talked about in draft, there are just so many Morph targets. And Sammy
able to get himself away there with the Song of the Siren. It was a nice little sort of wraparound play from Undying. They had 2 heroes in from the east, and Saberlight was sort of making his way through the river, but the Song pretty much breaks all that up. But at this point, Sammy does now have to be careful. With the Song down, he isn't going to have that same sort of bailout play. So he rotates into the jungle, and Undying, rather than chase after him, are going to look for Husky. They do hit him up with the Fissure into the Ice Blast here. They'll cancel out the Stomp with the Silence in from Saberlight, that Crippling Fear AoE. Going to work towards sort of locking Husky down, and they do find the kill. But this is sort of the thing we were talking about earlier on. They're only finding kills onto some of these smaller heroes. So right now, they need to sort of keep up the aggression. If they're not finding the sort of bigger fish, then they need to sort of just constantly be picking off the sort of support duo right now, as they are beginning to rotate their way down bot. Sammy, he's currently here by himself, but he's going to TP out.
They know he doesn't have the Song, and Moon is just 1 step behind, and he is getting slightly closer to that Blink Dagger. Once you get this tower, it is going to feel a little bit better. But yeah, Undying, they have to continue to play very objective based. They have to get everything off of the little advantages they are receiving. And again, we're sort of ending up in that situation where you have this BKB on Saberlight, you're going to have this BKB on Bryle, and it's the same timing in the last game. And if those BKBs don't pan out, or Zoomers have a better lineup in pretty much every single way. If they can avoid that timing, and Gunnar has his Aghanim Scepter pre-20 minutes into the game, this game is going to get very, very scary. We might see them just even dodge out these fights up until those BKBs and that Blink Dagger are finished, because this is scary. You don't want to be fighting into this Morphling. He has so many Morph targets, it's going to feel pretty terrible. And Moon... Everybody's coming though.
Well, he's buying some time with the Echo, but that's not going to be enough. Ocean will still bring him down. Saberlight actually ends up getting clipped there by Nerf Splitter as well, so he's dead. Ocean will fall, but at this point, Four Zoomers are okay with that. They're not okay with that though. Gunnar not managing the HP as Tomato and Bryle are able to get in onto him. They will be able to find that kill. That's a pretty big one, but now Tomato, he's in trouble. They get hit up by the Stomp. The Orchid's on him as well to keep him from really popping anything to save himself there. The Infest was available, but with the stun into the Silence, he's unable to get it off, and Four Zoomers will take that fight. So 4-for-2 trade in their favor, but that death on Gunnar really didn't feel like it was necessary. So Undying at least sort of extract a toll.
I'm not sure if he thought he was Ice Blasted. He didn't even try for the Morph, so I don't know what was going on there, but this is what I was sort of terrified of. You didn't want to give up your tier 2, you used the Glyph, you had this ability on Moon Meander, you pop the Echo, you at least have the Blink Dagger now, but they TP into the Meat Grinder, and ooh, what an Orchid. Moon. They had the vision.
He blinks in, he gets silenced up immediately, just taken down right away as Sammy gets the kill, and now Saberlight and Bryle, that's a problem. The Song is here, they're going to set up for it. Yeah, what can they get? Brax looking for the spear stun in.
Again?
Boy. That's the second or third time now they've been sort of off on that timing, so a little bit messed up with the coordination. Sammy tipping Brax there as well, so I think Sammy's under the sort of impression that it's the second guy's fault, maybe not the first, but to be honest, that would have been a nice sort of follow-up kill. They could have gotten Saberlight there, but they won that fight previously. They got an extra kill onto Moon, and they're up now by 7,000 net worth. So the missed opportunity is going to be a little bit of a disappointment, but they're still very much the team in control right now on that Four Zoomers side.
Yeah, NA Marsh. Sometimes you just miss the spear. That's just how it goes. He's working on a Yule Scepter of his own. And really, with those sort of assists, with all that team play top, it feels like Four Zoomers are going to be pretty happy. Something they do need to be careful of is falling into the trap that is this double BKB being finished up. But actually, Gunnar. Oh, it was too slow. He got the Morph off.
He got off that strength shift, so he's going to be just fine. Here comes Brax, though, in with the arena. The Terrorize is relatively effective. They do hit up the 2 supports, so Dubu and Moon Meander should be falling here, but
Gunnar.
At this point, Gunnar does still get run down. Yeah, Dubu's able to finish him off there with that sort of Ice Blast damage, but now Bryle, he's on the run, and I don't think he's making it out of here. Sammy's just going to wait for the ensnare to be back up. Bryle will pop the BKB, buyback in from Moonmeander as well, but he has no TP, so he's just sort of walking his way back to the fight, but with Saberlight coming in, maybe they can turn this, but the Spear Stump's going to lock him down. Husky goes for the Stomp as well, putting both of them to sleep, and this is where things are going to start to be pretty horrible. Although, wait, Sammy, he got his CP canceled.
Yeah.
Did he cancel it himself? I mean, Tomato doesn't have any means to actually stop that, so not entirely sure what went down there. Either way, Tomato finds a huge kill onto Sammy, and now Husky gets picked off further to the northeast, so Undying sort of just scrambling together a team fight win there. It is a costly one. 2 supports dead, the Viper gone, and a buyback for Moonmeander, but what they get is going to outweigh the costs.
Yeah, and it was a good attempt from Gunnar top. He became Tomato. He had that morph. It was just a little bit too much physical damage coming out to kill him, as you really don't have, I guess you do have a lot of armor because you are Morphling, but you have spec'd into really just trying to be tanky with the hood, with the magic resistance talent, and it isn't enough. And at the same time, you have to be a little bit afraid. If this Lifestealer gets on top of you, you aren't going anywhere once you use that mirror image. And it was a little sick juke there from Sammy Boy. Viral had no idea which was the real one. But I think we'll go out on a limb there, say that Moonmeander was there with the Fisher to cancel his TP, making his buyback feel that little bit more worth it. And that was the BKB. That was the reveal on Bryle. So if they can keep sort of the momentum that they gained from that, if Sammy Boy dies again, now we're getting to the point where every single death on this carry is going to start mattering. It is going to be that ultra where you need to really be careful, because if you die in this Naga, you're going to start losing objectives. We're getting to the point where Tomato can finally do tower damage, and the stakes are just going to continue to get higher and higher as this game progresses.
Tomato finishing himself off the Mjolnir here as well, so he has some damage, he's got some attack speed, and he's got that active to try and not just burn through creeps, but maybe even get through some of these illusions on the Naga Siren that little bit faster as well. But for now, we do see 4 Zoomers sort of exploring options in the Roche pit. They do hit it up briefly, but the scan comes through from Undying, and they are going to look to contest this, but 4 Zoomers almost sort of anticipated that as Sammy pops the BKB, pushes forward. Ryle, though, BKB of his own coming out here, so he is going to be able to fall back. Saberlight, meanwhile, is trying to sort of fly his way through there with the Ascension, but the Curse Crown will lock him down. The Earth Splitter coming in as well, doing a nice bit of damage, but further to the west, they've locked down Sammy. They hit him up with the Echo Slam. They've taken Sammy down. Dubu, the only hero dead right now on that Undying side, and they're actually just looking to straight up take this as Gunnar starting to shift towards strength now, but he's already losing so much of that HP that he's just hoping to get himself away. But Bryle and Tomato directly on top of him. They're not going to be able to keep him locked down for long, though, as Gunnar waveforms onto the high ground. Meanwhile, Moonmeander off to the west, getting chased down by the 2 supports, but the real fight is still back east, as Gunner's able to take down Bryle. Tomato now doesn't really have any backup. His support, or last remaining support, is forced to fall back as Moonmeander's going to look for some way out of here, so Tomato just has to find his own escape route, and Gunnar doesn't want to let him go. He tries to wait for him forward, but they're not actually going to be able to lock the Lifestealer down with the Rage being activated, so Undying will fall back, but really just sort of turns against them. They get the initial kill onto Sammy. That was looking fantastic, but not able to secure anything beyond that point.
And that's where, similar to that previous game, the BKBs matter so much. Whoever uses their BKB first really ends up being the loser, and that's where Sammy Boy does get punished. He didn't stick it out long enough, didn't set himself up with that Song of the Siren safety net, and even though Saberlight, it felt really sad to watch this Nightstalker. He's just 200 or 300 gold away from that BKB. He got double Curse Crown, he got double Bramble, he got an Earth Splitter thrown at him. They really threw the kitchen sink at this Nightstalker, keeping him out of that fight, and that's where this BKB is going to be really just massive for Undying, because then you have that cancel, you have that sort of stick on you hero where maybe the Morph and the Naga are going to start getting away with a lot less if you can trap that Morphling in one of those states. Sammy.
All right, he popped the BKB though, so he should be okay, as Moon is going to get taken down. The Song though will be deployed. Oh, the Song is deployed and they caught Tomato. The Rage sort of wears off for him, and he is trapped up in the middle of this, but with Saberlight and Bryle both pushing in, 4 Zoomers really didn't want to commit any further for that fight. They backed themselves away. The Curse Crown does lock Tomato in place a second time, but by that point the fight's really already come to an end. So they get Moonmeander, and they keep Sammy Boy alive, but they're not really able to get in onto any core heroes for 4 Zoomers.
And ooh, Gunnar. The double Bramble, holy. I've never seen that before, but that looks almost planned. That looks kind of cool.
Would have been cooler if they'd have hit onto targets, but it still looks cool either way. And now 4 Zoomers pushing their way into the Roche pit, looking to bring this one down. The Solar Crest is going to be there for the armor reduction, but I don't know. Undying still want this. The scan, though, out from 4 Zoomers will catch out heroes on this sort of high ground, but Saberlight, he still wants in. They've got the Infest Bomb, so they're going to try and give this a go. What can they catch, though? Right now, it's actually Brown who's going to get locked down. The Yule Scepter even being deployed onto Saberlight into the Spear Stun, so the Lifestealer really doesn't have his moment just yet, and with that Crippling Fear AoE sort of wearing off, Saberlight does have to be careful. He doesn't have that same degree of control. He's trying to sort of dance his way around the pit with that flying movement, but he's slowly but surely starting to lose HP here, and this is even with the best bonus HP. He's dead. Husky pins him down with the splitter. They will be able to get the kill, but now
nice
Gunnar dropping low. They hit him up with the Ice Blast as well, and this Morphling is going to have to fall back. Brow, though, wants directly in onto him. He's trying to track down that Morph, hits him up with the Viper Strike, and that should be enough. Gunnar will be taken down. The question now is, can 4 Zoomers respond? They get in for that arena into the Terrorize as well. That's a nice bit of damage. Can't actually finish it off, though. They need to be able to finish off Tomato. He is so low on HP, but they don't have the means to actually finish him off. He's going to be the one winning that fight. Ryle does go down, but Sammy will fall in exchange at 4 Zoomers. They're really in trouble now. Their supports just have to back away. Brax isn't in a position to help him. Ocean, though, will not be getting himself out of there as Ryle picks up the kill after buying back into the fight, and Undying, they take the fight and they control the pit.
And while Saberlight does go down, you know, call it lag, call it from being EU, it just doesn't get off. That BKB is a little bit too greedy, and at the same time, you do buyback, but you're securing the Roche. You didn't have Song of the Siren, and it is gonna be pretty unfortunate, to be honest, for Zoomers. You would have loved to get this Aegis onto the Morphling, have that safety net, and I'm surprised he's going for this Kai Sanj aside from just getting a straight up BKB, because Moon Meander has been just perfectly playing these fights out. Oh, yeah, bodying the Aegis, making sure there's no steal attempt. But Moon Meander has really been finding these 3-4-man fishers consistently and having that just immediate killer instinct to get the Echo Slam off onto Gunnar. Really, even though they're causing a lot of chaos in these fights, without the Morphling, they don't have that sort of secondary lockdown that you otherwise would need from maybe your 4 or 5 position. But after the Stomp, after the Bramble Maze, you really run out of a lot of lockdown on the Gunnar side. Again,
he got hit up by the Ice Blast into the fissure, into the...
And Bryle, just there.
Oh boy, Gunnar, he cannot afford to be making mistakes like that one. Brax tries to save the day with the spear, but it's not really going to matter. Gunnar still gets taken down, and Undying are really starting to sort of turn some momentum here. They're still trailing by a couple of thousand, but they've effectively cut that deficit in half over the last couple of minutes, and they've still got the Aegis up on that Viper, so they can afford to maybe push even further forward as they do eye up Sammy Boy down in that bottom lane. As of right now, Moon Meander's looking for it. He's got the infested Lifestealer inside of him, so they're going to try and catch this one out as they do get the stun down. There's going to be the Infest coming out as well. Ice Blast even flying through. Sammy, though, pops the BKB, pops the Song, but I don't think he's getting out. He's still dead.
And this is where this build is going to work against him. We saw in the previous game how perfect it was to sort of bait the enemy team into those situations and maintain that lead. And this would have been perfectly fine if that Roche fight didn't happen the way it went down. But now you're not the stat king. You do not have these big items. You don't have that Scotty Butterfly already in your inventory. So 2.5k HP. You, again, it was good in the previous game. You have that activity and would have been fine in this game. But you lose a few too many fights with these active items, and Tomato, he is the stat king. He has a Satanic. He's just going to stick on you.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, that Lifestealer, I mean, he's geared up for this, right? He knew that he was going to be called upon to really just sort of be that driving force in these team fights for his squad, and so far, he has lived up to those expectations, as we do see an attempt onto Brax. Moon Meander, though, is going to miss with the fissure, unfortunately, so looks like Brax is going to be able to get himself away, but now he's turning around. He wants to fight. Moon Meander is a little bit low on HP himself, and yeah, okay, Brax is going to be able to bring him down. That's a nice little play. It goes from Undying searching for the kill to, well, getting a little bit too far forward there. Moon Meander has been making some nice plays, but he's still not a very tanky hero by himself.
Yeah, definitely got a little ahead of himself. Yeah.
He's going to get caught out as well. He did throw on the cold feet, though, before the spear comes through, so Brax will be stunned up. And maybe Dubu makes his escape here. No, the ensnare will lock him down, and Brax comes in for the rebuke for the kill. So, for a moment, Dubu maybe thought that he had gotten himself free and clear, but that is going to be 4 Zoomers grabbing themselves another kill, as they do pick off both of the supports there. So, that's maybe going to take a little bit of the wind out of the sails for Undying, perhaps, but at this point, the cores are going to continue farming, Tomato in particular. just keeps on building himself up. He's got the S and Y. We see the Basher coming out for him now next. So he's going to start to look pretty impressive. Saberlight, they're jumping in. They want Gunnar. They get him up with the silence. Can they actually finish him off? Morphling, you can't. You just can't be in that situation. He's alone under his opponent's tower. Gunnar will fall, and Undying are going to look for more. Ocean will get picked off as well. This is just... I mean, it's good play from Undying, but these opportunities are being just sort of gifted over to them as Saberlight wants it again. Not going to be able to catch up to Sammy and Brax, though.
Yeah, and they thought that with the ES respawning, with Dubu dead for another 20 seconds, he can feel confident pushing that tower, and a little bit of an information play there coming in from Undying. I think they saw Saberlight's inventory just a few moments ago, gets the blink delivered, then makes that play, and they just don't see it coming. They aren't set up. You have that blink dagger on the Mars, but even then, I think you're just going into the grinder, and the damage was just there, and up until you get a BKB or something in the works for Gunnar, it feels like he's getting really greedy with his itemization. He's not even thinking about it. He's going for a Scotty next, and I understand that if you're going to continue to win these fights, you need to itemize in that sort of direction where someone is able to tank up and sort of fight one-on-one with the snakes, but you're not getting to that point fast enough, and you have to be cautious of this ES, of this Nightstalker silence, and we keep on seeing him get punished for these, and I don't think the solution is this Scotty.
At this point, there's still time to adjust course, or maybe not actually. He just bought up the first ulti orb, so he is going to commit for that, really one way or the other, but we'll have to wait and see just how well it plays out for him. Meanwhile, Undying, they're trying to push their way mid. Bryle is getting some damage onto the tower. Tomato, though, sort of getting shoved back a little bit by those brambles, so they're not going to get it just yet, but look at that. The Ice Blast is coming through. It's going to hit up onto Ocean, I believe, so Dark Willow should be taken down. Gunnar, though, he's trying to push in. Saberlight just going to pop the TP out while he's under the cover of the BKB. So he's going to be able to get himself away. Meanwhile, Ocean did tick down to that Ice Blast. So they're going to be able to climb onto Undying, but now... Dubu able to get away. Saberlight, meanwhile, gets jumped in on by Sammy Boy. So four Zulus looking to fire back. They've taken down one. Can they get any more? Dubu dropping low. They're going to be losing Moon Meander as well, but Brax does end up dying in the middle of the button. They get Bryle. They bash him up. They're going to be able to lock him down, and now Sammy, I mean, he just wants in for the kill. He and Gunnar are just going to fire away at Tomato, and they do manage to finish him off. Triple kill for the Morphling, and the perfect sort of teamfight victory. Exactly what 4 Zoomers need. They shatter the momentum from Undying, and now they're the squad on their opponent's side of the map right now, looking to claim some objectives.
Yeah, and it's a full 5-man wipe. Samuel just sort of happenstancely walks into the BKB with Saberlight. He doesn't get the blink dagger off. He doesn't even think anything of it. And you don't have glyph, so this might just be one rack pretty much for free for 4 Zoomers. And again, the team that has to use their BKBs first is always the team losing out in these fights. And they don't have the targeting. They don't know really anywhere where this Naga is. And she just sort of waltzes into an already won team fight. And Gunnar, while he wasn't able to become sort of the monster there, he wasn't able to have that Dark Willow morph, he's becoming everyone else on his team. You had a double stomp there, you had the Spirit out.
Again, it's greedy though, they go for the second... Well, they went for the second lane, but the Song, yeah, just sort of bails them all out. Saberlight has the BKB, but he's the only one, and now Sammy wants back in. The Snare connecting onto the Nightstalker without the BKB. I don't really know if Saberlight can keep himself safe. He's going to get hit up by the Stomp, and, well, he's almost certainly going down here. Gunnar waveforms forward. They will be able to find that pickup. Husky, meanwhile, just trying to sort of corral these heroes back towards the fountain. Going in for the Stomp. Moon Meander, though, doesn't actually get hit by it, and he's able to blink back to the fountain, so they will survive that. The problem is, that's going to free up 4 Zoomers to go back in for that top lane of Rax. So, initially, it felt like it was a little bit greedy, but Undying aren't quite able to put together the proper sort of punish, and now it looks like 4 Zoomers should be able to claim that second tier 3, but with the Ice Blast coming in, Gunnar's got to be careful, he's stunned up. Waveforms himself out in time. He did still get hit up by the debuff there, but by that point, there's not going to be enough follow-up damage for them to really find the kill. So 4 Zoomers will back away. That was an Ascension popped by the Nightstalker for not a whole lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you get the tier 3 tower, you get the full mid-racks, you get a buyback out from Saberlight, and just a perfect warding expedition. That ET felt like he was a little bit too far forward, but never in any real danger. And if they're continuing to get Gunnar out being BKBless is going to feel a lot better, especially once he is able to sort of figure out these items. And really, it's that full 5-man wipe mid that really changed the pace of this game. Undying were really in the hot seat, but as soon as they lost that Aegis, they just sort of crumbled down. And now it feels like this game is going to need to sort of be extended a little bit, and that is exactly what Zoomers want.
Splash coming in, not going to connect though. Brax will connect though with the arena. Into the double. Oh, Moonmander's dead. Saberlight's gone as well. This is going to be an absolute disaster. Undying just have to run. Dubu, though, not going to make it out. Gunnar finds the kill. Tomato and Bryle trying to get themselves away. Even the Infest being used there defensively just to make sure.
Absolutely no.
Oh, yeah, no buybacks available there for the Undying Heroes. No one has buyback. Absolutely no one. And now Bryle is going to get jumped in on, but the BKB saves him from the Spear Stun, so he is okay for now, but that physical damage is still just chunking him away. The BKB is not going to matter, and Bryle, he's just dead. He'll be taken down. Tomato is now fighting all by himself. He's rooted up by the ensnare. No rage for 10.
And that's game. They don't have buys on anyone. That's actually just it. They're going to know here in a second, but yeah. What is happening here is Samuel, all the sprays, good effort. The Sunsman, horribly disfigured.
Oh god, that doesn't look great. But yeah, Sunsfan and good effort. That is
when are they gonna realize that they're not gonna they're gonna kill Dubu to this is a little bit BM. But the NA rivalry, he actually hit him with that Ice Blast. Dubu Chad, but
XD says, alright, Dubu. He's having fun with the end here. Undying realize how this one's gonna go. Sammy, not a fan, but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, the 4 Zoomers will be able to close this one out. Undying are literally going to make them actually finish it off, though. No GG coming out just yet, so gonna have to get themselves onto the Ancient, but first, a little bit of fountain diving as they will push in onto Moon Meander.
Oh, get a 5-man echo. Oh no.
Not going to happen there as Brax finds the kill, but here comes Saberlight respawning as well. There's the GG. Okay, they're getting a little bit sick of being fountain farmed now as they will throw the G's. Gunnar does die to the fountain laser though, so that is going to be one more death on his tally, but it doesn't matter. 4 Zoomers take the